William Ruto has given Rigathi Gachagua a poisoned chalice, and Rigathi is drinking from it very innocently, not knowing what is happening. In fact, Rigathi's political star will soon dwindle, and it will reach a point when it will diminish completely. Ever since Rigathi Gachagua and President Ruto took oath of office, they started on a campaign mode. But William Ruto has sensed something that Rigathi Gachagua is still blind of. Rigathi Gachagua continues to politic and he criticizes his opponents very vehemently. In a bid to prepare for 2027, both William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua seems to have crafted some plans to consolidate their support base. But while William Ruto is using his proxies, Rigathi Gachagua is taking this process head on. If you look at what is happening in Kanu, William Ruto's hidden hand pulled the Secretary General, Mr. Nick Salat, to rock it. But Rigathi Gachagua went head on in Mount Kenya, and he told the other leaders who are in other parties, especially in Azimio, to come back home in the UDA before 31st of this month. And this move is setting him up against some of his brothers and sisters, because Rigathi's character is shaped by the mere fact that he was a DO in the Kanu era. And back then, being a DO meant that it is a yes sir kind of relationship where orders are obeyed. And he still feels that in politics you must obey orders, as it was then. The recent altercation between Rigathi Gachagua and Mwangi wa Iria is just an ice of a tip of an iceberg, because while Rigathi Gachagua is trying to consolidate support to ensure that they unite around him ahead of 2027, there are other leaders who feel that Rigathi Gachagua is on a wrong move. People like William Kabogo, Mwangi wa Iria, and Mwangi Kiunjuri are just but some of the leaders who feel that Mount Kenya does not have a solid party which unites them, because they feel that the UDA, which Gachagua is trying to unite around, is not their party. Our Kenyan politics is based on ethnicity, and you know that. And I can assure you that if you look at every political party in Kenya, these parties can be traced to certain communities and certain individuals, certain families. The UDA can be traced to Rift Valley, and if you go further, it belongs to Baba Shalin, Baba Nick. If you look at ODM, you will trace its epicenter in Nyanza, and if you go further, you realize that it belongs to Baba Winnie. Then look for the roots of Wiper, and you will be taken to Ukambani. And when you move a step further, you will realize that it belongs to Baba Kennedy. And Jubilee is in Central, but it belongs to Baba Ngina. Every other party in Kenya is pegged to a certain community and a certain family, and they are proud of it. So this Mount Kenya leaders feel that they need to rally around a party that belongs to one of their own. People like Moses Kuria abandoned their party to join the UDA. Others who tried to wrestle William Ruto in Mount Kenya were thwarted. because William Ruto wanted to entrench himself as the ultimate kingpin in Mount Kenya. So Rigathi Gachagua has been set up to continue campaigning every Sunday. Just wait until Sunday in one of the churches when they are given a podium, which I feel are just political podiums used to campaign. And his mission is one, to paint Raila Amolo Odinga in bad faith. And when they started, it was to paint also Uhuru Kenyatta in bad faith, where in fact he mentioned that Uhuru Kenyatta is the one who brought the economic situation in Kenya to its knees the way it is, because they said they inherited a dilapidated economy. Now he has changed tunes and he wants Uhuru to join the UDA. It is very laughable because Uhuru has his own party. There's no way, because I think he's about to resign from Azimio as the chair of Azimio council chair. Conditions under the new constitution demands that he must not take up any active political role or any political position 6 months after resignation, and so he wants to quit. But they are now welcoming him to join UDA, something that is really ridiculous, because you cannot move from one party to another. And if you've seen the movements of Uhuru Kenyatta, he has led people like David Murathe and Jeremiah Kiani to show that he's still in Azimio. Number two, Rigathi Gachagua does not employ negotiative tactics. He wants to force everyone to join the UDA. Instead of trying to seduce his brothers, people like Mwangi wa Iria, it seems he wants to cajole them to join him, something that will not work. In every strategy, there are situations when you have to call the leaders on a round table, persuade them why they need to join you. For example, you can tell them that for us to speak with one language, we need to unite around UDA, and hear their opinion on this, hear why they have reservations against the UDA. But the most pressing question that the leaders are asking Rigathi is this. If you look at the history of our elections, anyone who wants to become a serious presidential contender must have his own party. Jimmy Wanjigi has a party. Raila Odinga has a party. William Ruto has a party. Kalonzo has a party. Wajakoya has a party. But Rigathi Gachagua is busy telling people to join the UDA. UDA is not Rigathi's party. I don't even think he's an official in the UDA. So should something happen that Rigathi and William Ruto wakosane kidogo, what will happen? If an altercation that happened between William Ruto and former President Uhuru Kenyatta can happen in the UDA now, what do you think will happen? So they are telling Rigathi Gachagua that if you want to be a serious leader in Central, look for a party, so that in case, because in politics you never know what will happen next. The enemies of today becomes friends of tomorrow, and friends of today become enemies of tomorrow. You have seen William Ruto toning down on his attacks on the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. In fact, while presiding over the Madaraka celebrations, William Ruto showered Raila Amolo Odinga with praise. He said that it is the role of opposition to criticize the government, and he even said that he doesn't see anything wrong with the Azimio led by Raila Amolo Odinga going on the streets and criticizing. He's doing this because he's at crossroads. He even wants to create an office for the opposition leader. While there are serious talks about this, Rigathi Gachagua has not even commented on the creation of this office, something that tells me that he does not welcome the idea. He does not even read the mood of the president, because while the president is toning down on his attacks against the opposition, Rigathi Gachagua has continued with these attacks every Sunday. Could it be that he does not know the talks that are going on between Azimio and William Ruto? It could be, because some of these negotiations are compelled by the big brothers, the USA. And while Ruto traveled to the USA, he was alone, and Raila, in fact, if they met together in the absence of Rigathi Gachagua. And Ruto knows very well, because he has learned from the previous experience. When Uhuru Kenyatta went to shake hands with Raila Odinga, sources has it that William Ruto was informed when they were about to shake hands. The processes and the meetings that took place before the shaking of hands were kept away from him, because obviously he was going to feel bad. He felt that they supported Uhuru Kenyatta, and therefore by bringing Raila Odinga was going to take over, because Raila is an experienced politician and he's got a backing, a following that you cannot wish away. The same thing is happening. Rigathi Gachagua has maintained that they voted for William Ruto, and so he is maintained that Raila should not join them in any way. So William Ruto knows very well that if he reveals this to Rigathi Gachagua, then it's going to be chaotic. In the end, Rigathi Gachagua, if at all, God forbid, William Ruto decides to pick another running mate, because it is not a must that Rigathi Gachagua should be the running mate come 2027. It is not a must. Let me ask you, if William Ruto drops Rigathi Gachagua and picks Kithure Kindiki, for example, or somebody like Ndindi Nyoro, do you think Mount Kenya will not vote for him because Rigathi Gachagua is not on the ballot? If anything, when Mount Kenya leaders were voting to give William Ruto a running mate, Rigathi Gachagua was never the first choice. All their brothers, including Alice Wahome and Ndindi Nyoro, voted to pick Kithure Kindiki. And so, William Ruto is setting up Rigathi Gachagua. One, he will, someone has just distracted me, sorry. He will have gone against his brothers in Mount Kenya. Because right now, the way he's trying to force them, and you see people like Mwangi wa Iria are complaining that there is a lot of political witch hunt from Rigathi Gachagua. That means they will soon be enemies. By continuing to insult maybe Raila Odinga, and Raila is the ultimate leader of Azimio, it means that when he's left alone, he will not run back. In fact, right now, if you ask supporters of Azimio, their number one political enemy is Rigathi Gachagua. Thanks to his verbal attacks every Sunday in churches about Raila Odinga. The third thing is, he will not have any party, and he will not have any time to run very fast to register a party, not unless he does it as early as now. Because with William Ruto controlling every department, he will even instruct the registrar of parties chair, Madam Ndumu, so that no one registers any party. And therefore, experts feel that William Ruto, being a very charismatic politician, having learned from Moi and Raila and his experience with the Uhuru Kenyatta, he is setting up Rigathi Gachagua, so that when the right time comes, he will date Rigathi Gachagua, and Rigathi Gachagua will not have any savior, not Azimio, not his brothers in Central, and he will have no vehicle even to try and stand on his own.